By this time, Atiku should become a statesman. Atiku should mobilize the North within his own sphere of influence to back Peter Obi for the ticket of the South for 2 reasons.
For me, I think that candidate should be Peter Obi. You know, candidate that have moved from, that goes around from state to state, that move from Jigawa to from Abuja to Kafasha to Kaduna, even to Olamaboro in Kogi State.
2027 general election is just getting hot and hotter by the day. So some members of the ADC political party has come out to throw their support behind Peter Obi. According to them, Atiku should play the role of godfatherism, a role of a statesmanship, state elder or whatever they call him there. He should become an elder to Peter Obi, project Peter Obi, you know, in the north, and they show that Peter Obi get the massive support, you know, he's supposed to be getting from the north, because against all odds, Peter Obi remains the only credible candidate marketable to Nigerians at the moment. So from all credits, I go play the video more and listen and watch the end. From all credit, from all angles, at the moment, Peter Obi remains the only leader who can be trusted, who the Nigerian people are still rallying round. The only leader who travels, you know, from every nook and cranny of the states in Nigeria and knows, you know, what to do, how to alleviate poverty, how to take Nigeria out of this mess, especially when it comes to a credible candidate against, you know, the present administration. It is only Peter Obi who has the people's, you know, who is the people's mandate, who is being projected by the people themselves, you know, can defeat the present administration. Also, against all odds, Peter Obi remains the only candidate who, you know, at the moment still pulls the weight, you know, still pulls the biggest crowd, and everybody is asking Atiku, please step down for Peter Obi. Let greed not make you, you know, take away the Nigerians' rights. Let greed not make you spoil the election of 2027. Nigerians are saying, should Atiku come out, they will come out against him, because they are saying that against all odds, if Atiku does not step down for Peter Obi, it simply means that Atiku is working in hand with Tinubu to complete 8 years of governance, 8 years of suffering, 8 years of sorrow, 8 years of hardship, 8 years of paying of people all around the country. So guys, Nigerians and your ADC people are already saying that it is only Peter Obi that can actually survive the heat of the 2027 general election. Listen to what this guy talk and say to him, because we still have a lot to talk about this 2027 general election. It was very, very interesting conversation. You will not want to miss this conversation. Stay tuned, because after this video, I will still bring you another video of ADC member still saying that Peter Obi remains the most credible, viable candidate at the moment.
Southern presidency for 8 years, for me, sacrosanct. It's something that cannot be jeopardized. It's something that must be abided by. And so for any serious opposition that wants to challenge the incumbent President Tinubu, who is from the South, that such a party, it will be in its own interest to field a Southern candidate. And since an aspirant like Peter Obi has come out to say clearly and in bold relief that I will run for just one time because I also respect zoning. And he didn't just say it, he made a proposition to the coalition he's just joined, the ADC, in that respect. And he has also granted an interview where he was seen in colors, you know, saying, I will run for only one term. And one term is enough for me to reposition the country. I may not achieve everything I want to achieve, but I'm willing to sacrifice my privilege and right in the interest of national unity, because I believe that by 2031, the presidency should be returning for the North. That was quite thoughtful. That was quite ingenious of him. That was quite patriotic, if you ask me, to have stated this clearly. Meaning, I believe I will run, but I'm not unaware of the peculiarity of the power dynamics in Nigeria. So I'm not going to live in denial of that. So I'm stating it often that I want to run, but I will run for only one time if given the opportunity. So I want to put that the ADC, if they are serious about taking power from the president, must. If this story is, I don't know how true this story is, but this is something for them to pick up and read. And this, for me, what you see on the front page of the pilot somehow is in sync with public perception, public opinion, and the expectation from this party, particularly as it concerns zoning or the presidency. Now, as for Obi as a candidate, Obi again has thrust himself ahead of others, going to the 2027 race by his principled stance on a number of issues. You see, I've had reasons on this program to criticize Obi severally for not being very clear on alternatives he's offering to the incumbent administration. But this last interview over the weekend, which in my consideration was one of his best ever, has lightened up the mood in this country, has sort of restored some level of hope, because in that interview he was able to go a notch higher in providing some level of philosophical clarity as to how and how he intends to tackle Nigeria's myriad of existential problems. Apart from addressing the basic issues of integrity, character, in governance, and frugal management of resources, there was something remarkable about his interview on two fronts. He stand on the removal of petroleum subsidy, which have insisted that if anybody must challenge Tinubu, you must come with a clear-cut authority to what he has done. For the first time, I think Obi too, like I've always said, that 2 years enough for both those in power and those in the opposition to have taken time to reflect on the effect of subsidy removal and come up with a change of position. He seems to have adopted that, because for the first time, Obi said he would first tackle the corruption associated with subsidy, to ascertain what exactly Nigeria is paying for in subsidy before taking the next step. This is like a strong shift from his orthodoxy, or the position of orthodoxy of it has to go because subsidy in itself is bad. I was pleasantly surprised, and it's a welcome development, because we need alternatives in the polity. I'm speaking about this morning because it's an alternative is offered now.
Yes.
So look, why not look at the corruption, and then going forward, let us now know what is it that we are really paying for, and probably if it does not hurt the system, then we can continue. Something like that. I expect him in the coming days to also sharpen this, direction he's taking now, sharpen it and make it a policy statement. Now, there's something remarkable you also talked about. Borrowing. That is not to borrow, but to invest in businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, you should have, definitely I would have been excited. I've always said that government has to do business. And I think government must borrow. It has to be to do business. And when they asked him what kind of business will he invest in, he said agricultural production across the value chains. Because they believe that agriculture will yield for Nigeria much more than oil is doing. So it means he himself is considering the fact that government must have a role to play in the means of production. These are the kind of alternatives we want to see. So we can have decent conversations here going forward. And let me tell you, what this man has done is going to put pressure on the incumbent administration to also look at their own policy, their own stand, and begin to adjust accordingly. And that is the beauty of democracy. So at the end of the day, we have qualitative discourse in the polity. It begins to yield results for the people. That is what democracy is all about.
Absolutely.
And so he has risen up to the challenge of being the true voice of opposition, something we've been yearning for since 2020.
So what do you say to people that say, well, look, fine, it all sounds great like you put it, but that he has probably shot himself in the foot by leaving the Labour Party to the ADC, where he's up against serious political heavyweights?
Okay, according to him, he's not left the Labour Party. You see, this is like a special arrangement. He said he's still a member of the Labour Party. He made it clear. But this ADC is like a coming together of people from all across political parties who have joined the ADC fully for the purpose of teaming up to challenge incumbents. Because the last experience was that because the position was splintered along 3 major axes, it was easy for the president to have taken the day after 8 years of underperformance by the APC. So maybe they're trying to come together to see if they can find a common ground. But I'm sure he's holding on to his Labour Party, because if for any reason a common ground is not found, he's going to run along with his own party and see if he can make the necessary impact. So
he's not trying to eat his cake and have it by doing that?
No, I think he's just being strategic, really, at this stage. I think there's nothing wrong with what he's done yet. Of course, you know me. I wouldn't say it the way it is not. I think for now, it is still they're trying to form an alliance. There's nothing wrong with an alliance in a democracy. Most multi-party democracies usually come through an alliance to upstage democratically, though, those that are in government. There's nothing wrong. Macron, for example, is a product of a broad-based alliance. President Lula da Silva came into power the first time and even now through a broad coalition. In fact, my impression that the ANC of South Africa, as you see, is a coalition of political parties, including COSATU, the labor organization in that country. So there's nothing wrong with the coalition.
But you talked about putting your best foot forward, yes, and also looking at the reading the room, yes, of course. And I bring this because of the ADC stats. They're saying ADC Sean zoning throws presidential ticket open to North, South, Atiku, P2B, Amechi may clash at primaries. Governorship, senatorial, other tickets all open to all aspirants, daily asset. But when you listen to that, do you think that's a coalition that understands the reading of the room?
No. This other headline is very disturbing. And by now I should have expected that. The coalition should have known, again, that time and events throw up certain kind of peculiarities in both aspirations, candidacy, and political party management. If you look at the ADC has gained traction, surprisingly, not because of the, in spite of the assemblage of men of yesteryears that are largely uninspiring, people that you can't even follow, you can't even line up behind, including, of course, the chairman of the ADC, the former Senate President David Mark, including the Pro-Tem National Secretary. When you look at the ADC and the structure as currently constituted, it's uninspiring. You could as well go to sleep and say, let them figure it out by themselves, and whoever defeats the other, so be it. But something changed when Obi stepped into that hall that day and identified with the coalition. The support the coalition is getting today, which is actually substantial, I must tell you this, surprisingly. I didn't give this coalition a chance, but I can tell that from the feelers we're getting on the ground, a lot of people are now gravitating towards the coalition and are waiting with bated breath to see what they will come up with in the next.
When you say people, who are we referring to?
Now, why the issue of Peter Obi, returning or becoming the presidential candidate of the ADC against 2027 election still remains sacrosanct. A lot of people are already saying that should Atiku be projected, they will not, by any means vote Atiku. They are saying it is a turn of the South-South, and the South-South must complete their tenure. And for Atiku or Tinubu to be defeated, they must project a Southern candidate, and it must be Peter Obi, in 2027. This is to say that Peter Obi at the moment still remains the only candidate from the South who can actually challenge Tinubu in 2027. And they're saying that since it is the turn of the South
people, that if Atiku comes out there, they will vote Tinubu massively and make sure they remove Atiku. This is to tell that Nigerian politics still goes back to this issue of selection. You understand? I mean, imagine reasoning this issue as it is right now. A lot of people are saying that they even prefers Tinubu to Atiku. Probably they have known the past life of Atiku and how Atiku has done things in the past and all of that. And maybe that is why everyone is against Atiku becoming the president of Nigeria. If Atiku competes for the next one, it should have been the fourth consecutive time or three consecutive time Atiku will be coming out for presidency. And Nigerians are saying, we are tired of you. We do not want you. Don't force yourself on Nigerians. Listen to what this guy talk, and after which we will go discuss more on this issue relating to 2027 election, relating to voters' vote security, and how or your roles and things you need to do to secure your vote. Because if you don't secure your vote, what happened in 2023 will repeat itself. First and foremost, for the Inter-Party Advisory Council, there's a new chairman. I'm former chairman. But for the coalition, I actually attended several meetings of the current coalition and was part of several deliberations. For the opportunities that lies for the coalition and their plan to remove the current administration that is not underperforming seriously, I think there are a lot of chances. But those chances should be predicated on certain factors and drawn within certain parameters, because you cannot in this day and time, when election and political dynamics have changed from where people need to stuff ballot box, run away with it and grab it, you need candidates that have momentum, that have public appeal, that are, that have organic depth of support, that to be able to go into the ballot so that you have or go onto the ballot so that you have the opportunity to remove the current government. And you know that if you, the kind of information that was put here to say that it must be not. What defeated Jonathan in 2015 wasn't just about the fact that the North felt that it was their turn from 2011-12 to build up to 2015, and they felt that it was their turn and that they must try to be part of it. And that would not even see happen without the implosion in the PDP, where you have people from River State, you have people from Imo, people from Kwara like Saraki and Co, who now eventually left the PDP. So the only way to defeat this current government is to have a candidate that will have the capacity to do so. And you can't come and put innuendos and rhetoric and so it must be the North, pursuing generalization statement on general terms without specifically stating what candidate you think should be that. For me, I think that candidate should be Peter Obi. Candidate that have moved that goes around from state to state, that move from Jigawa to from Abuja to Kafasha to Kaduna, even to Olamaboro in Kogi State, and I've been to several technical institution, nursing school. We can't have people who are not showing compassion, who are not showing that they have the capacity to be able to know the terrain of this country. Because the problem we have put people in government who have not been able to even know what is the route that link between Ogugu to Enugu. What is that road? People don't travel, they travel on shop. But I have seen a candidate. I will not come to do a statement on that I will not mention name of those I think that can win this thing. And if you look at the last election, there was no political entrenchment. There was no political structure. People say, oh, there are 3 people tweeting in one room. There are no governors. There are no senators. But that election, Obi has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he has the public, the people have interest in him, because it's about the messaging, it's about the acceptance, because you can be popular and then you go to the ballot and there's no result, but people accept you. That's why your popularity translates into vote. So you look at the southern election that was conducted, despite the fact that APC was in control of the structure in the entire south of our country. If PDP was in control of within the south, PDP was in control of Delta. In that Delta, they had a vice presidential candidate for the PDP, and Atiku won the vote. Peter Obi won the vote there over 80%. You have the southern election statistics where Peter Obi had 44.5%, Atiku had 19.4%, tinubu had 35.5%, and Kwakwaso had 0.48%. Where he defeated every candidate that participated in the south. And when you come to the north, he had a substantial share. You have to take away the rigging, because the people say, oh, he didn't win the election. People are claiming he won the election. We need to go to the IRF and see that there are a lot of irregularities, a lot of forged results that were posted there. And if you look at the BBC report, expose done on River State, including Premium Times, you will find out that Peter Obi defeated every other candidate in River State. These are data that are verifiable, that you can reach out to. We can't just sit down and then come to a station and then try to put up candidates that are not going out there to sell themselves, to go around to connect with Nigerians, to show compassion to people who are going through crisis, like what happened in Makwa, and then we go and elect candidate again that will now start to draw Nigerian back.
After listening to this guy here, who is a Northerner, it is obvious that even the Northerners knows that Peter Obi remains the only candidate against all odds who can deliver Nigeria from its present mess. Fact remains that with that, we can't even say the candidates right now who can take Nigeria's economy out of its present mess. Tinubu has come to squander and to buy things, bring things backward. At the moment, we are as if we are going backward, but we don't even know where we are going to, because dated back were even better than the present. What are we even talking about? Why is it that Tinubu still wants to compete in 2027? And this issue of one-party state in Nigeria that they are projecting, it is going to be difficult for them, because Nigerians are wise and Nigerians are no longer, we are not fools that they will come out and be playing around with our feelings and all of that. Now, in 2027, there is already a projection that is going on. No electoral reform, no election. This is because the security of votes, needs to be protected. The security of votes is paramount, rather, and should be the issue of, should become a subject matter, should become something that we need to start discussing about on a daily basis, because if your vote is not, you're not sure that your vote is, is going to count, then what is the need of coming out to vote? If they will mess up the system just like they did in 2023, then there should be no need. If election result will be announced by 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning, then there should be no need. If there will be no transparency, there should be no need at the moment. Guys, this issue of electoral malpractice remains, something that has become a big obstacle to the progress, of Nigeria. And until we fight against it, almost nothing will happen that will be positive in this country. Again, this issue of tribalism, issue of, this person is from my side and all of that, we need to kill that mindset as against 2027. If not, the same error that is still in governance will continue, and we will continue running around the circle, repetition of similar events, probably projecting different candidates who are doing the same thing. Because at the moment, there's already the mindset that coming to office, do as the other people did, because your own is not different. But at the moment, we have Peter Obi, who is credible, competent, and someone who can be held accountable at any moment. And as such, someone who has got, gained the love of the people, who has sympathy, who knows the cries of the people, who knows the areas to touch, to better the life of Nigerians. I'm sure he wouldn't want to jeopardize that interest that the people have in him. And as such, he remains the only person that we can trust at the moment. Let me know your opinion in the comment section, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button, stay tuned, turn on the notification button, because I'll be sharing important gist, important updates, that is very, very useful, and I bet all of you will be interested in this particular update. Thank you for watching, and see you all on my next video, guys.